Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Silent Bard Tavern. We're so happy to have you here for our 7th episode of our first book, or arc, Into the Hole. You guys ready for another episode? Good. This one gets a little dark. Content warning. Depictions of war and violence, starting around the half-hour mark.
Last time on the Phantoms of Talba.
Arthur, you've been around a long time. What do you know about the kobolds and the worship of Necrochromomia and the Offender and the Knights of Kree?
I would like to know these ways it's clinging to, and to inform you that he was the assistant who brought it with her.
What I consider good, you might consider evil.
Just debating, what she should do with the information that Chaff gave her. If she should just give it to the authorities, or she should just take that map.
I'm gonna have to trust you with the gathering of knowledge for me. I must continue my work here. The poisons must be made. It seems this earthquake is not natural, and I assume it has something to do with the cave.
On the note, I write, if you want me to describe the rituals, I don't mind doing that.
Sure, go ahead. I see nothing wrong with pretending to be someone else for the term of easier persuasion. Just make sure that the mayor doesn't find out.
Oh no!
She gives you the nastiest glare and then looks over at the captain. Arrest her. Anyways, guys. So, I know it's been a while. And
Has it?
all that, but just to remind you, what happened last time is
On Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, on not Dragon Ball Z, patent pending, is that Hannah and Chaff have been arrested. Chaff writing a full confession of everything he has ever witnessed in the caves and the rituals he had been a part of. Hannah attempting to pretend to be Arthur got caught and was arrested, and Arthur. Very last thing of the last episode is that you were in your workshop working on the poisonous gases and you lost track of time. As night happened to come around, you heard a knock on your door, and you looked back down at your hand and saw that same translucent glow coming over you that you've become so familiar with. You hear the knocking on your door.
I looked through my little mini porthole, whatever I called it.
The people
Yeah.
outside your door is the magistrate.
Without opening the door, keeping it firmly locked. What is it you want? There's poison in here, and it's deadly to breathe.
We have come to check on your progress.
And you said it's later in the day?
It is clearly nighttime.
Yes, I am making excellent progress, but it has suddenly been stopped by the fact that you've come to check on me. I told you it would take at least a couple days.
You see, that's the thing, Arthur. Both of your associates have been arrested, and you are locked away in here. I don't know if you have any more time. Possibly until tomorrow is all that you have.
By order of who?
Arthur, nobody's given the order yet. I mostly just came to check on you and to let you know. But it is very likely that the captain will not wait any longer. And the mayor is seething, to say the least.
Alright, so looking out the mini portal, I'm gonna prestidigitation a note. Just a note that says, I'll see what I can do in the morning. Signed Merlin. No, I'm just kidding. Signed Arthur. I'm gonna tell the guy.
Well, deliver this to the jail then. With much haste. It is magical in nature, as you might assume, and will disappear after an hour.
Right. Thank you, Arthur, and I am sorry for disturbing your work.
Yes, now, let me get back to it, and I recommend not breathing heavily near my door. Some of the toxins may have leaked out.
Just a loud thud.
Oh no, not again.
He takes the note and runs with it.
And I'll continue to work through the night.
Yeah, as you're working, your form does begin to glow. Are there any windows in your workshop?
Only at the very top. It's just a tower all the way up. And the very top is that your standard circle glass.
Okay, you begin to glow, but you don't fully transform.
At least it has some use as a nightlight.
So you're gonna work through the night without sleeping?
No. Just a little bit more and then go to sleep. And also I don't have a bed in there. I just sleep on my chair all the way at the top of the tower.
I figured.
What are you trying to say?
So as you finish up with the present batch you're working on, you slump your way up the stairs and sit back in your chair. And as you sit there, your form begins to change back into that younger half-elven man. And you sit with your cheek pressed against your fist. You drift off. You find yourself again sitting on the banks of a river in some faraway place north of here, outside of Talva. You hear a familiar and gentle laughter. And as you turn, you see her again.
Look around my surroundings, just taking in everything I see very slowly. I don't say anything.
What's wrong, Arthur?
It's this watch. I've been working on it. No matter how many times I fix it, something always breaks and it never ticks.
She giggles to herself, and then she reaches down and takes hold of the watch with her soft hands around yours. And there's this greenish glow that comes from her hands, and you feel the pieces of the watch in your hand kind of shift and turn and connect and reconnect and tear apart and then come together again, and then suddenly you hear the clicking of a clock again. There now. Isn't that better?
Holding it up to my ear, just listening to it. How'd you do that? Sounds as if it's brand new.
Because it is.
Huh? Explain. Are you a wizard?
Not quite.
Well, I've been studying the arcane a little bit myself, but I haven't figured out any spells that can turn back, putting the watch away or just on the floor. Time?
I have a special kind of magic, you could say.
A warlock? Just like backing away, just whoa.
She just laughs at you. No. Nothing so sinister. See, where you seek to tap in to this power, I hold it. It's in me. You could even say it comes from me.
Ah, I see. I've read about this in my studies. Art fairy. Just pointing at her like I just solved the big tough question.
She puts her hands to her mouth, like just trying to keep herself from just laughing at that ridiculous notion. No. This is so embarrassing. I'll tell you what. You meet me here, same time, every day. And I'll show you what I mean.
Same time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I get the pocket watch and using whatever thing I have on hand, I'll put onto the glass where the hour and minutes are. Like a little mark. Not scratch out on there, just a mark.
And you wake up. And it's daytime.
Just wakes up. I forgot to put my phone to charge! Oh wait, wrong timeline. I'm gonna go gather my things. Everything. I'm gonna put the poison in something that I know won't shatter. Nice, tightly corked. And I guess bring like a satchel with me to hold it. And go to the prison.
Alright.
And the poisoneer's kit, if that fits as well. I ain't getting robbed today. Not again.
You have a much more compact version of all the beakers and vials and instruments you use in your lab that you can carry with you, along with this satchel full of already made poisons. And the moment you step out of your museum, you notice a contingent of guards that have been surrounding the tower in the town, and they're all just keeping an eye on you. They're not really interacting with you, but that same tension is still very much there. Everyone is still on edge. Everyone is still expecting something to blow up or go wrong. And they're just watching you as you make your way towards Town Hall.
Good evening. Jeff, how's it going? Thomas, good to see you.
Are you saying good evening on purpose because it's morning?
Yeah.
They're all looking at you like confused, like, oh god, we're putting our lives in this guy's hands. My name is Pat, and it's morning.
Oh, Thomas, don't you get time mixed up every once in a while? It's basically nighttime. All right, you have a good day.
It's Pat, and goodbye.
Already gone. And then I guess we'll just head straight for jail. Straight for Yale.
You make your way down to prison first, and the guards kind of immediately step in to stop you from going any further. But you do see Hannah and Chaff there in the prison.
Whose side? I need to talk to them.
I'm afraid we cannot let you do that, Arthur.
Why's that?
These two are under watch, and you should be making poison, I hear. And if that is in what is in the satchel, then you should report to the captain, not to the prison.
Well, my assistant that's supposed to be helping me make the poisons is currently behind bars.
Your assistant
And-
was impersonating you, and possibly was the one impersonating the mayor earlier. Your assistant is not to be trusted.
My assistant is supposed to be assisting me, and she was disguised as me with my permission. You all are so worrisome about foreigners that I thought it would be no crime if she just simply went as me. You're all fine with me.
Perhaps the mayor, Arthur, but the captain, not so much.
Well, then tell me what had happened that got her imprisoned.
Well, it wasn't so much her, it was her trying to get the kobold out. And then the kobold handed the mayor a book, pretty much a confession of all his crime. And therefore she is now an accomplice to murder. And pretending to be people she isn't. And using magic. And potentially having links to the Curry family.
She was there, next to the little lizard, when these murders happened?
He wrote it down in the book. With his own hand. And he looks at Chaff.
I ignore it.
Well, the kobold was entrusted into my watch for at least a day to gather information. Why not entrust the girl into my watch for at least a couple of hours?
Arthur, you hear from behind you. Do you not think that you have dilly-dallied enough?
Well, you see, a wizard's work is never untimely, nor is it premature. It occurs precisely as intended.
He just has the nastiest stink eye. And he was already standing up straight, but somehow he stands up even straighter. And the guards that were talking to you a second ago have completely stood at attention, and you can even hear a bit of trembling coming from them.
Is there something you want to discuss as I stand up straight?
Oh boy.
Today, and he looks over at the cell, you can take your apprentice and that lizard, and you will explore the caves.
We don't have enough poison. What we have can only clear a few rooms. If you want us to explore the caves, either give us more time or give us men to send down with us into the caverns.
What you do not have is time, Arthur.
Well, there! You solved your question. Give us men sent down with us into the caverns.
You will have men, but the three of you will head the expedition. My men will only occupy the rooms that you have cleared.
Alright, then. These men you're sending down to the caverns, I want to be sure they're well trained. Only your best. If I have any evidence of them getting their sticky paws on anything in any of the rooms, then I will have it upheld to you.
Let us get something clear, Arthur. I do not answer to you. This is a state of emergency. My men are not slack. They are not some village militia. These are trained soldiers. And everything in those caves belongs to the Republic. Anything that they find will be confiscated and brought back to the military. It is you who I am worried about getting his sticky claws into anything. You and that lizard and that one. Do I make myself clear, Arthur?
I have something to make clear then. You may have the items from the cavern, but not until I've said that they can have them. I want everything in that entire cavern recorded before anything is touched. Do I make myself clear? Can I roll intimidation?
At disadvantage, yes. And this is a high DC. You need to make a perfect 20 on this one because he legitimately thinks you're a joke.
Alright, so the silver dice was a nat 20, but you know, you're mean. And what is my charisma? Does it have to be a net 20?
I said the DC is a 20.
I win.
What'd you get?
A 20 and an 18. So that's 21.
He doesn't seem to back down, and he sort of grunts and says, I did not know that I needed your permission, wizard. Everything will be carefully documented. You have until noon to make your preparations. Release the prisoners to him, and he turns around and walks back up the stairs.
You heard the man. Get to it. Probably horribly uncomfortable in there.
I'm gesturing to the cell.
The guards sort of hesitantly unlock the cell, and then they stand at the side.
And then I just gesture for them to walk out of the cell.
I stand up, dust myself off, grab my notebook, and hold it close to my chest while walking out.
Hannah gets out and makes a face to the guards as she's leaving.
They throw you back in.
Don't be doing that.
Okay, what kind of preparations are you guys gonna be making? You have until noon to make preparations because you guys are going into this cave today.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna go gather my traveling pack with all the stuff that's on my character sheet.
Yeah, my character's putting on all her equipment and gathering all the stuff they took from her, whatever. Hannah's just gonna go check boards at the clinic.
And Chaff, what are you doing?
I'm going to be following Arthur.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow Arthur and Chaff, and then I'm gonna jump to Hannah at the clinic.
I also want to buy potions, by the way.
Okay. Which of those do you want to do first?
I guess I'll get potions first.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow Chaff and Arthur, and then I'll go with Hannah.
He's following me into my giant tower. It's just gonna be an episode of Hoarders.
I guess climb over the 13 boxes of books. I know they're all the same book, but they have the author's name written in them, so they're valuable.
Any gas leaks? Do I roll for Constitution?
All of it's back to me. So you just see me digging through all my boxes covered in dust. Get my little backpack. It's all beautiful and old. You can tell it's been repaired a lot. This thing, it's probably like 10% of its original make. It's more patches than anything. Good patches. Nothing but the best, but still very patchy.
So tell me, what did your confession have that had you thrown immediately back into prison?
I write down, they found out that I took part in the sacrifices.
So, tell me then. You knew you were sacrificing people. Did you know if they were innocent people?
I shake my head.
Well, I'm sure all is fine. If you wish redemption, work hard to get it. Sure you'll get there. For now, we've got to get ready and prepare to go into those caves. Anything you might need for a fight?
I shake my head again.
Well then, upstairs is off limits. I'm gonna continue rummaging through my boxes and see what I find. If you're bored and would like to read, I have a small bookshelf off in the corner that I have books that I haven't read. I was planning to read them, see if they were good enough to be put in the museum. Go wild. Just don't break anything.
I look over to that part of the room and half jog over there. Pick up the first book that catches my eye.
You pull out from the stack a leather-bound book that has a somewhat tarnished green tint to it. And it is written in a language you're familiar with.
Yeah, I've already read the Necronomicon.
It's not that one.
Oh.
It appears to be, at first, some sort of boring text about a time before anyone can remember. As you flip through pages, you begin to realize this isn't an ordinary book. This isn't an ordinary history. This is someone's detailed diary describing things they've experienced in their present time that is now history long past.
Oh.
And as you flip back through towards the cover, you look for the name, and you see it was written by someone named Jacob Cree. And that name doesn't ring any bell to you.
Oh, all right. This is the book I will read.
And from there, we cut away to Hannah. You are at Garage General.
Hannah walks in and she walks up to the cash register. Is it the guy or the wife?
It's the wife.
So she greets her and she's like, hi. And she kind of shows her hair and she's like, look, this is how it turned out.
She seems hesitant. She waves at you slightly. Oh, hello. And she adjusts herself. What is it that you needed?
Her smile kind of falls and she puts her hat back on. She clears her throat and she's like, I just needed a couple health potions.
Oh, if you go that way, and she kind of points over to your right, down at the end of the aisle, it should be on the top shelf. I don't think we have many, but you're welcome to what's there if you can afford it.
Right. So she just heads in the direction she pointed at.
There's 2 on the shelf.
Is there a price or?
Yeah, they're 50 gold each.
The price is free if you run fast.
I already been in jail once. I ain't scared of nothing. Alright, so she grabs them both and goes to the counter. Hopefully I won't need them, but...
Yes, hopefully.
And she puts them down and she pulls out the gold from her pocket.
Oh, you have quite a bit for someone who's a traveler. And she takes the gold. I didn't mean anything by that. No offense.
None taken.
Sorry.
I've noted that most people are wary of foreigners here. And she just takes her stuff and leaves. She's totally offended.
You make your way back towards the clinic where Boris is at. Everyone in town is got eyes on you. And not just the soldiers, but the townsfolk as well. And as you make your way back in, you see Boris is not by himself. Sitting by his bedside is Armin. You haven't seen him since the estate.
She kind of quietly approaches, kind of seeing if he's saying anything.
He looks up at you. Oh, young miss. How you doing?
She just looks kind of uncomfortable and she's like, I've had better days.
Yeah. I've slept in a few cells myself. It's not that comfortable. He seems oddly comfortable compared to everybody else.
Are you from here, Armin?
Me, no. No. I'm from a town north of here, another province.
Yeah, they don't seem very trusting of anyone that's not their own.
I don't blame them. It's been kind of tough, especially. He looks over at Boris. Especially the last few days, I mostly feel sorry for him. I can imagine what it's going to be like when he wakes up to learn he's the last one alive.
Hannah kind of winces. He'll be alright. He's strong.
Yeah. Your whole family dying, it's It's gotta be tough, right? He looks at you.
Hannah has like this just deep look of pain.
He doesn't seem to notice.
What a jerk. Okay, sorry.
It's not, he rolled really low on insight just now. He's looking at you, and it's not like a lack of noticing because he's not trying. He doesn't seem to grasp fully the expression you have on.
So she kind of snaps out of it and she's like, "Are you going on the expedition today?"
Me?
Yeah.
Of course I am. Gotta get them back for what they did.
I hate to do this, but you mind if I have a moment with him?
Oh. He looks around. You sure that's a good idea? Not that I don't trust you, but... You know, everyone around here.
Oh, well, if you want to just stand on the other side of the room, I just want to have a private conversation, that's all.
Right. He gets up and he walks over and leans against the wall on the opposite end of the room.
She kind of leans towards him so that nobody can hear. And she slides a gold coin in his hand and closes his hand and she says, "If I live, you owe me a drink."
You see his hand twitch slightly.
Like she notices and she pats his hand and she gets up and leaves.
It is now mid-afternoon, and you guys arrive on the scene of what appears to be some kind of sinkhole. You crossed all the same fields, all the same roads, but when you arrive, this is not the same area you recognized from a few days ago. Even you, Chaff, know this is not the same spot you emerged from. Or at least it doesn't appear to be. The woods, the trees have all toppled over on top of each other. The ground is caved in almost as if something had smashed into the earth and created this huge crater. All around, all the soldiers are in a defensive position, facing inwards towards a center mass of just trees and wood and what's left of the shed Chaff had emerged from.
Is it me or does this place look a little different?
This is what happened while all of you were dilly-dallying.
Or the aftermath of your mother exiting the bed.
The captain gives him the nastiest glare. Very funny, wizard. But don't forget, you're going in first.
My group is going in first. Never said I would.
You are going in with them. Or do you expect a bunch of inexperienced magic users to handle whatever they find down there?
I agree. You should go first, Arthur.
We will send the elf.
No. I insist. My amazing, capable teacher can lead the way.
As you guys are bickering amongst yourselves, there's a rumble in the ground. It's not as bad as the earthquake you guys had felt previously, but it's pretty significant for you to notice it, and all the soldiers seem to shake with it and quiver, and then a few of the boards and beams from the building that's sitting under the trees just carrying this weight begin to give, and they just start collapsing on top of themselves, and there's like a poof of dust that goes up into the air. And you begin to see several figures begin to emerge from the dust, and at first it's not clear what they are, but As they begin to crawl out of the cloud, it becomes very apparent that this is just a flock of kobolds running for their lives, but the soldiers take no pity on them and immediately begin to open fire on the kobolds as they emerge, just one after another, taking them down.
I clutch at whoever's next to me in fear.
I want to get down and fly up, see if I can perception anything else coming out of the hole of the place. Something trying to sneak using the kobold to this direction.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
I'm using the silver dice, and I will be throwing it at the wall.
Got it.
Yeah. 19 plus 1.
So a dirty 20.
Yes.
From what you could see, there is nothing other than those kobolds that came out and that are now lying dead on the floor. But you do, however, take note that none of these kobolds are wearing any kind of robes even remotely resembling the one Chaff is wearing. In fact, most of them are wearing rags, and you could clearly see that they've been worked to the bone before they died.
Alright, I'll fly back down to the captain. From what I see, the kobolds trying to escape, most likely enslaved. Malnourished, overworked. Barely rags to their names. Doesn't matter their fate, it's already dealt with. But if you meet one like that, point to Chaff, don't kill them. Hold them for questioning.
I will do whatever keeps the town and my soldiers safe. Thank you very much, wizard. Now, if you are done delaying...
No, you punk! I'm gonna put a pointed claw finger on his breastplate, like tap it, like, you, listen here, like that. Like, no! I need information. If you see any more of those things, capture them alive.
He's gonna push you back with his own hand. Whatever information you need, wizard, is in that hole. Now, either you are going in, or I will arrest you and take you back to town where you will rot in a cell.
I will go in. But you should know better that putting me in a cell, expecting that to hold me forever.
No one lives forever, Arthur.
Some live long enough to see the cell walls rot.
Yes, as an elf, I can attest I would see the cell walls rot. That being said, come on, teacher, you go first.
And I'll just adjust my coat like, oh, how dare you! And then I'll fly over to the entrance of the hole.
As you guys get closer, again, this is a mess of tangled trees and collapsed building here. It is very hard to get more than one person of medium size through at a time.
Yes, Hannah. I believe in this situation, you going first would be beneficial to all. I am a frail spellcaster, as I've been told. Our small friend Chaff is a simple kobold and could be crushed easily. You, on the other hand, have some meat on your bones. I'm sure any attack dealt your way, you'd be able to return with much vigor.
And it's gonna look at the hole. Gonna look at the bird. And she's gonna look at the hole. Is it sanitary? No, I'm just kidding. Would it be like a crawl space or like a hole that I fall into? Like, how is that?
You might have to crouch a bit to get in, but it's not like you have to get on all fours to crawl in.
She kind of looks at you annoyed, but she's like, fine. And she just starts going in.
All right. Now we just simply follow behind her. I will take position in the middle. Why don't you follow right behind little Chaff?
I ignore him and just walk in.
Before him.
Yeah.
The brave kobold.
A brave one, I like it.
No, Merlin a candle and with a little candle holder as well.
Behind you guys, the captain is coming in with 3 of his men. And when you enter this space, you just hear all the wood creaking and moaning under the weight of the fallen trees. Half the building is gone in the back. It's just completely collapsed. And Chaff, you barely recognize the hole that you came out of to even get into this room.
All right, so what do I see?
Everything I just described.
Just that. Okay.
Yeah, you guys aren't in the cave yet. You're still in the sort of collapsed building.
Let me see. I don't think I have any way. Is it lit up or do I need to?
It is dark in here. There's some ambient light making it into here, but for sure once you start going down, you're going to lose light.
I mean, I have dark vision, so I should be okay, right?
You will be seeing in black and white in the dark, but yes, you will be able to see.
Okay. And let me see, do I have any torches? I do have torches. So once there's enough clearing that I'm not crouching or anything, I might light a torch.
Okay. Chaff, what are you doing?
Stand there, just look around. Preferably wait until Arthur walks in.
All of you are in at this point.
Really cozy, ain't it?
I shake my head.
She's gonna look at Chaff and be like, I think you should lead the way. I mean, does this look unfamiliar to you?
I hesitate, but then I start walking forward slowly, trying to orient myself to what I remember.
The building doesn't look too different from you, it's just clearly destroyed. But you do see the hole that leads down.
All right, onwards.
So again, this hole it only fits one of you at a time. So you have to go down in line. What order are you all going down, and what are your passive perceptions?
I don't mind going after him.
So, Chaff, Hannah, Arthur.
And you asked for our passive perception.
All right, passive perception 13.
13.
13. And what's Arthur's passive?
11.
Okay, so 13, and 11. So you guys come down, and Chaff, you immediately notice that way down is not as long as you recall. That seems to make sense because now the shack that was on the surface level has kind of sunken in with the ground. But the room you enter is not the last room you remember when you went up. Something about this has shifted. Something about this has changed. And as you light the torch that Hannah gave you, you immediately see that the silhouettes in the room are a bunch of crates that you've seen before, but never on one of these upper levels of the caverns. The room just seems to have some kind of dust floating around, possibly from all the shifting of the earth that's been going on.
Yeah, I recognize a cave-in when I see one. I stand at the entryway of the place, wait for the others to come in.
Same.
And as soon as all 3 of you are down, the captain is climbing down this hole, and he, looking at all the crates, looks to the 3 men that are with him, and he just points at the crates and he says, "All right, open them up carefully." The men move without question, and they begin to pop open and pry these crates, and they begin to pull out some unusual items. It appears to be made of metal, and at first it's not quite clear what they are. They're different shapes and sizes, but after enough of these pieces come out of the crate, you, Arthur, especially, recognize that these almost seem like body parts, but they're made of metals and plastics.
Where'd they get plastics from?
Trees, horses. Wait, no, that's glue.
Like, you could tell what the metal is, but like the plastic pieces, you're not familiar with that material, but you know that it's not. Like, just from looking at it, right? You could tell that's not an organic material. But everything is in the shape of a body part.
Forgotten so quickly about not touching anything, Captain?
I believe you forget your place, Arthur. And besides, there is nothing magical about these crates.
Some things natural or given magical properties can be hidden.
The captain walks over to one of the crates himself, and he pulls out something that very closely resembles a human skull. But there's like some key differences. Do you have any idea what this is, wizard? Because I do.
Is it something for a ritual or something?
He scoffs at you. Not quite. This, and he looks at it and he's holding it in a very Shakespearean manner as he's staring at it, making it face him.
This is a soldier from across the mountains. This is the new technology that sits at our borders.
And he chucks the head at Arthur like a softball.
I want to smack it away like I'm shooing a fly.
It hits your wing pretty hard, but he didn't toss it very hard at you. And it just clanks on the ground and makes a very loud sound, almost like it's hollow, like a bucket.
Well then, Captain, if this is the threat we face, and you know so much about them, do we have anything to fear of this one?
I do not think you understand the gravity of this. Clearly, something is going on down here, something that requires your services. But from the look of all these crates, I would say that it is definitely our enemies that have been moving their armies secretly underground.
So Hannah's looking around and she's like, and all of this was under the Garage family house? Man, they had it out for them, huh?
Like I've mentioned before, young lady, the lord of the house was a war hero. It would not surprise me if they wanted to take him down, especially if they also claim, and he stares right at Chaff, to be worshippers of Necrochronomia.
Yeah, but to do it right under his own home, that's some hatred there.
Right about at this point, the air seems to get a little thicker. And I'm gonna need you all to roll me some wisdom saving throws.
Why you do this?
I cannot be charmed or anything, I just want you to know that.
I can be charmed, and I will be. I got a 6.
I got 15.
Let's see. Wisdom, save. 9.
Everyone, literally everyone, except for Hannah and Armin, the room around you begins to take on a somewhat purple hue, and almost like you forgot people were there. Everyone disappears from your sight. You still see the room, but everyone disappears from your sight, and you can hear almost nothing except for your own breath. Hannah, You are looking at everyone, and you begin to notice the soldiers. Their faces grow with a look of panic, and they begin to cry out to one another. They're calling for the captain, they're calling for Arthur, they're calling for anyone, and they're just walking around and they begin to like stumble over each other. You look and it seems that Armin is not affected by whatever's going on. He's looking confused, but he looks at you and you look at him, and you each acknowledge that you're not affected by whatever's going on.
Can I cast something?
You are welcome to, yes.
I want to cast Alarm at my feet and make it so everybody who I saw enter this room with me is not affected by it.
Okay.
Mental, so only I hear if something new enters the area.
So how are you casting this? Because Alarm is a very specific spell that covers an area. So if you're casting it at your feet...
20-foot cube. So I just say put it at my feet because I'm just imagining like the spell to be like a ball of magic, and then I literally just drop it like a ball. But I'm just putting it in this room.
Okay, so you're putting it as if it's like a 20-foot sphere around you where you're at presently.
Yes.
Because it will not follow you.
I know. I'm just going to stand still right at the center of it.
Hannah's gonna look at Armin and be like, what's going on? And then as she's saying that, though, she's gonna be pulling out her water skin, and she's gonna try to splash some water on Arthur and Chaff's faces since they're the closest to her.
Arthur, you feel a strange sensation, but you don't feel wet. For you, Hannah, you clearly splashed his face with water, but he doesn't even blink when the water hits his eyes.
I'm gonna slap him.
Arthur, you feel as if the room is shaking.
Oh, pull out my dagger! I'm just going to stand there like prepared.
Because she slapped you, I'm going to allow you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, yeah, well, you see, I don't have wisdom. Age did not give it to me. 3.
Bro, your rolls are trash. Rolling the row out again.
Armin is like, wait, what are you doing? Stop. I don't know if that's helping.
They're not waking up. I don't know what to do.
I don't know that they're asleep. Must be some kind of spell. You don't have like something to undo it?
She shakes her head. Magic doesn't work like that. Have a spell, I could just make a loud noise at the most. But seeing as a water and a slap didn't wake up Arthur. And then she's like, but I do have message. So she's gonna use message on Arthur and be like, Arthur, you're still in the room, but you seem to be in a daze. Are you okay?
Arthur, you do hear this.
This message went away.
You could whisper and she'll hear it back.
I seem to be under the effect of a spell. I see no one in the room, and I'm feeling strange sensations.
Yes, it's me. How can we break this spell?
I would assume damage done to the person could bring them back. Little jolt of something heart-pounding.
Please forgive me. So she's gonna pull out her short sword. She's gonna look at Armin and be like, he told me to attack him.
Whoa. Maybe not something that might maim him? Why don't you just punch him?
I mean, I slapped him.
Armin straight up just decks Arthur in the side of the head. You take 1 point of damage.
I'm down.
You take 1 point of damage, and you are allowed to make another wisdom saving throw.
That's a nat 20.
Hey.
You snap out of it as the purple kind of dissipates, and you see everyone stumbling around. And Chaff, what have you been doing this whole time?
Crouching on the floor, holding my head.
Hannah's gonna take the time to try to message each soldier and say, calm down. It's just an illusionary spell.
As you do that, they all do begin to kind of sit still where they're at, and Armin is presently trying to shake Chaff. So, Chaff, go ahead and make me another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's, I believe 16.
Alright. The purple fades away, and you begin to see everyone clearly again and hear them, and you hear one of the soldiers weeping. Hey, kid. You alright?
I nod my head and stand up.
Good. Armin looks around and then looks at Arthur. Look, I don't know what else is down here in this cave, but I don't think we should have too many chiefs. The captain's my captain, but he's not fit to deal with this magic. You are. If maybe we should just leave them in the state here. Call someone down. And, the rest of us go on ahead.
I mean, could you at least leave one of them to punch them? Because I would hate to leave them in this state, in this area.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But we should move on without them. Whatever's going on here, clearly a bigger party might, get us into more trouble.
Alright then. We shall head on with the smaller party, but we will not be leaving until they've snapped out of it.
At least one of them.
He shakes up another one of the soldiers. And immediately that soldier starts looking around frantically. Oh, you're all still here. Oh, thank the gods.
Yeah, I told you it was just an illusionary spell. But we're gonna head down in a smaller group, so if you could just take the time, shake everybody here, help them. It's like a daze. Just shake them out of the daze and then stand guard until further instructions are given to you by your captain.
Right. Wait. What? What do you mean? You're going down without any backup?
She looks to Armin.
Listen, kid. I know. But who knows what else is waiting for us down there? Captain's too important to lose him in this hole. He kinda nods, and Armin turns to Hannah. Which way you think we should go?
Not my hole. She looks at Chaff. Which way do you think we should go? Which options do we have?
Yeah, which options?
So, this doesn't look super familiar to you, Chaff. As many times as you've traveled and gone through this and have come to learn these caverns, this room in and of itself is very unfamiliar to you. And there are 3 other exits out of this room besides the one that you guys came through.
I look around and seem indecisive at the 3 exits. I look at Hannah and shrug my shoulders.
Eeny, miny, mo, get the tiger by the toe. So Hannah just kind of looks at all 3 of them, looks at Chaff, and says, well, which one do you feel like going through?
Alright. Facing from the way we came in, to the left.
Really quick, can I do an investigation to see if I see any footmarks going to any of them?
Sure.
Oh, 19.
The floor is heavy with traffic in any direction, right? It looks like this place was busy. Like people were moving. And there is no clear direction anywhere until you spot what appears to be a clear indication of more humanoid footprints. Heavy, imprinted possibly someone that was wearing armor, headed down the center exit.
So, you see Hannah crouch down and then looks around at the floor, and she stands up and says, "There seems to be a lot of traffic coming in and out of each corridor, but there seems to be more humanoids coming from the center one. So which one do you guys want to go down? I don't think we could really go wrong anyway."
I'm not going to decide this one.
I say we find where the place ends and start filling it with toxins. Then once we know nothing's in here, then we come back in and search the place.
It seems a bit like a labyrinth, and I'd hate for one of these tunnels to lead right back to us. I say we just go down the center.
Hey gang, let's split up.
I don't like that idea at all.
Like zoinks, man!
My 11 hit points say no. She looks at Armin and she's like, "What do you think?"
Why do you want to go down the center specifically?
I already shared that twice.
So soldiers went down the middle, huh?
And he looks at Chaff, who's been eyeballing the way to the left.
But he's been here before. He's looking over there.
I'm pretty sure he's guessing right now. She looks at Chaff and she's like, "Do you really want to go that way?"
Armin can't tell. He's convinced that Chaff knows where he's going.
Hannah won't push it further. If they are trying to go left, she's just going to go with it.
It doesn't matter to me.
I'll follow which direction they're going. I'm gonna make sure to keep my eyes vigilant.
So you're gonna actively be looking?
Yes.
Alright, go ahead and roll me a perception check, and you're all headed down to the left.
Yeah.
I'll be the last one through this time.
Okay.
16.
Armin goes ahead and he takes the lead, headed down towards the left, carrying a torch with him.
And us following.
This part of the cave is significantly wider, so you don't all have to walk in a straight line.
Alright, I'm behind him to his right.
It curves around to the left, and it seems to spiral downwards. There's a fairly decent incline headed down as you guys walk into this larger room that is more cave-like than the room above that you were in. There's pillars of rock and stone and stalactites and stalagmites everywhere. And Arthur, what did you roll on your perception check?
16.
You guys walk in, and this room seems relatively empty. Arthur, you notice on a 16 some peculiar holes in some of the walls.
Get down, it's a trap.
Cobalt-sized holes?
No, these look like the kind of holes that you could only fit your finger into.
Ooh, a booby trap.
As far back as I can be with my staff, I'll just whack at it.
You're getting close to the holes?
As far as I can be with my staff.
As soon as you get within 20 feet of one of these holes, I'm gonna need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's your fault. How could you? You shoved me, I saw it. 18 total.
You guys all watch as Arthur approaches one of the walls, and not too far off, you hear and Arthur, something flies past you as you just narrowly move out of the way, instinctually after hearing that sound.
Hannah turns around and she's like, "What was that?"
Probably something poisonous. Dear Chaff, did you know there were traps in here?
Did I?
Did I?
Not to your recollection, you don't even know what this room is.
I glance back at the way we came through, and then I shake my head no.
Well, Hannah, I volunteer you first.
I mean, I've been walking in front of you.
Has Arthur moved from where he's at?
No.
Okay, go ahead and make me another dexterity saving throw, please.
Hey.
You hear the and this time you don't move in time, and the dart just plants itself right into one of your wings as you flinch, and you take 2 piercing damage.
5 2 dart-sized projectiles would down me.
Sounds reasonable.
Maybe you should move.
So Hannah looks at Arth. Why are they only shooting you? Get over here.
The world seems to have a grudge against me.
And then I walk away.
As you're walking away, I'm going to need you to make one more dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm picking up the silver dice. 18, 19. 19 total.
You hear the again, and you duck out of the way as a dart flies over your head and slams into the wall. And you see a visible spark as it hits the rock.
Does it go through, or does it just bounce off? Or go into it?
It makes a distinctive twang, but you don't see where it goes, and you don't hear a bouncing sound.
Alright. I want to back away all the way to where they are. Take the one out of my wing, examine it.
It looks like a very sharp, pointed piece of metal on both ends, and it is round and smooth and about a little smaller than a dime in circumference.
Now, I want to check if I know this is like metal from these caves or surrounding area. Like, is this something ripped apart from something, or something made to be fit in those walls and shot out?
It is so perfectly smooth and crafted that it leads you to believe that maybe it's dwarven made, or elves of significant craftsmanship. You've never seen anything that's been this well crafted before.
I'm gonna walk up to Chaff.
This familiar to you?
I'm gonna assume no. So I grab it from his hand.
That would be a yes. You would know.
Okay
You've
then.
done these before.
I grab it from his hand, take a glance at it, and my eyes light up, and I pull out my notebook and start writing out what I remember.
Basically, what you write down, Chaff, is that this is some of the goods that your captors have received for their services. It comes from the same place that those robot parts in the crates came from.
So I write the same place as the metal arm parts.
I want to use Mage Hand, tell everyone to back up even more.
No. Hannah's gonna be like, we're wasting time here. And she's gonna be like, let's just get out of this room before we get ourselves killed.
But I want another one.
No, that's not why we're here. You can get it after.
I'm gonna pocket one that tried to embed itself in me from the floor wherever it landed with Mage Hand.
Are you saying that you're trying to find one of the other two that flew out?
Yes, with Mage Hand.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Nat 20.
You find both of them pretty easily.
Okay. With Mage Hand, I'll just bring them to me. And are any of the guards with us? I would have gotten.
No, only Armin came down with you.
Alright.
You can hear them talk from above, like the sound is echoing because you guys are not that far from
Alright. I want to make it look like I tossed it, but just sleight of hand it into my pocket.
The guards are not with you.
I thought you said Armin was.
Armin is, yeah. But Armin doesn't care.
Alright. So I just hide it from him then? Because I actively don't want him to know.
You don't want Armin to know?
No.
Okay, go ahead and sleight of hand it.
15 plus sleight of hand. 16 total.
Armin doesn't seem to take note.
I continue following Hannah.
It's a good thing these soldiers didn't come with us in here. They definitely would have died. It's just too many people. Hopefully they're careful.
You guys can hear from behind you in the room above. It sounds like more soldiers are pouring in, and there's like a commotion of stuff being moved and jostled around.
Bruh. Having to talk with his superior, nothing so sweet touched. We fist fight, annoyed by the sound of them rustling items. I'm just gonna be looking at my wing with a hole in it. Just, Hannah,
I believe you should tell them there are dangers in these caves to take their foolish hands off of everything and leave it alone.
I think you should stop wasting time. We might still be able to catch whoever's down here. Maybe even find which way they're going out of here, if they're not exiting with the kobolds above.
I agree. Be my guest. We'll all go back down the path and continue right. You can keep going down this corridor right here.
I'd rather not leave him alone, though. That doesn't seem right. If you'd like, I suppose you and Chaff can go one way and me and Armin can go the other.
I think that's a bad idea. Look, out of all of us, I'm probably the least squishy here. No offense, wizard.
I could put up a bit of a fight. And she puts like a martial arts stance. Got some tough skin?
I believe it. But I ain't about to leave y'all alone. Especially not him. And he points at Arthur again. His curiosity might get him killed down here.
Hannah sighs and she's like, yeah, alright, let's go. And she pats Arthur on the back. She's like, come on, let's go, old man.
So which way are you guys going?
Anyway, we're going. I'm gonna have an instance of mage hands just knocking on the floor.
Are you going to continue to explore this room? Or are you going to go back the way you came?
There's no other way to go?
You haven't explored this full room.
Yeah, we're looking for another exit. Should I do investigation or something?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
I was hoping it would make me roll higher.
Hannah, you have a hard time even seeing the spaces where Arthur was being shot at from. Is anyone else gonna be looking? Or...
I'm looking, but I only got a 5.
I'll look for an exit.
I mean, I have like 60 feet of vision with kobold features.
Okay.
Nice magic. 22.
You carefully maneuver your way around this room, seeing the various holes in the walls and assuming that they all have the same reach and trigger. And you guys make your way to what you assume is the back of the room, and it appears like a dead end until, Arthur, you turn just the right corner and notice that there is a large enough gap in the wall that it kind of overlaps itself, so from certain angles you can't see it, but at the angle you're at you could tell this is a passageway behind the room.
There you go. An entrance we did not see. Armin, since you're so keen, why don't you lead ahead?
Glad to.
And he heads on in ahead of you.
I follow.
You guys enter a smaller corridor that seems to curve around to the left again, and you follow it right up until this space opens up. As you're walking ahead, Arthur, you keeping your head on a swivel, you turn and you notice that there is another passage that Armin bypasses that's kind of back and to the right that opens up into a much larger space as he's continuing to walk down this long corridor.
I'll just say, looky here, and go in there.
Armin's gonna turn around. Is anyone gonna follow Arthur?
I'm gonna wait in the hall with Armin.
Armin is following Arthur.
Then I am going to go in with them.
I follow behind Armin.
You guys walk into this much larger space, which is like this big, almost dome-shaped room, and as you go further, there seems to be like this sheer drop into darkness towards the end of the room. And as you're all standing sort of at the edge looking down, you begin to hear shuffling from behind you and chatter that for most of you don't recognize, except Chaff, who knows that this is Draconic that he's hearing. When you turn around, you see from sort of hidden slits in the walls of the passageway you came through, 6 kobolds dressed in armor and bearing spears come rushing out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Phantoms of Talva. We really appreciate your support, so feel free to like or subscribe. It encourages us and lets us know you like what you hear. Hope you join us again next time here on the Silent Bar Tavern.